YouTube, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about how the Boston Celtics are the scariest team in the NBA and are basically the runaway favorites to win the NBA championship in 2024. Without further ado, please like, please subscribe. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. So let's just quickly look at the stats for the Boston Celtics real quick. So if we look at the team leader in points is obviously Jason Tatum. I mean, no surprising. Jason Tatum is the best player on the team. He's always been All NBA first team player. He basically leads the league in MVP votes too. In my opinion, he should be the MVP because he's the best player on the best team. But many people do have different opinions on that, and that's for a different video. But they have Jason Tatum, who has 27.0 points per game. They have Jaylen Brown at 22.3 points per game, and then Kristaps Porzingis at 20.2 points per game. What stands out is that the Boston Celtics are a very, very, very good three-point shooting team. They lead the league in three-pointers made per game with 27 threes per game made per game, and that is just the best in the NBA. Now, the Boston Celtics also have a pretty good defense. Adding Drew Holiday in the offseason has made this team more better at defensively. Adding Kristaps Porzingis as your center was also really good when it comes to defense and offense. Kristaps Porzingis this season has averaged 20.2 points per game, 6.9 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks. So he's basically averaging about 2 blocks per game, right? So, and then also Drew Holiday here is averaging 13 points per game, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. So he's basically more of a defensive player. He's going to guard the best player on your team. Now, another surprising player this season that I thought is performing really well is Derek White. I think Derek White, in my opinion, is playing out of his mind with 15.6 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 4.8 assists, and 1.1 stats. 1.1 steals and 1.2 blocks. And the reason why I think that the reason why I'm very surprised is because Derek White is normally a player he's a role player, but this season I've seen Derek White take over games and help the Boston Celtics win games when the other players on the team are shooting very cold. And I feel like Derek White's presence in the team has made the team more better offensively, and the three-point shooting is definitely risen due to his efficiency when it comes to three-pointers, and also his efficiency when it comes to defense too. He's a pretty good underrated defender in the Boston Celtics. Now, real quick, the Boston Celtics actually, I just realized, they're the number 1 seed, obviously, right? They have the second most easiest schedule in the strength when it comes to strength of schedule in the league. So basically, in my opinion, they're a lock. They're basically a lock, right? They play the OKC one time, they play the Nuggets once, the Cavs, the Bucks twice, and the Suns twice, and the Pelicans twice. So you basically have around 10 hard games, and the rest are just easy, right? Now, when I mean about hard games, I mean they're tough. They're contenders. They're playing contenders. And they have a lot of easy opponents too, right? You play the Wizards twice, the Pistons, the Hornets, the Blazers, the Hawks, and the Jazz. Those are easy wins for the Boston Celtics. And in my opinion, the Boston Celtics are basically going to end the season with the best record in the NBA. And if you look at the standings real quick, the second seed is basically 8 games behind them. They would have to go on an 8 or 9 game losing streak, and the Cavs would have to go on an 8 or 9 game winning streak to even be in the conversation for being the number 1 seed, right? And then if you look at here, I mean, it's close, I guess, but not really, because the Timberwolves have 42 wins, and the Boston Celtics have 47, and they have only 12 losses. So the Boston Celtics this season have the best record, and they're probably going to end the season with the best record. Now, my question is, are they going to win the finals? Because, I mean, we've seen Boston have really good records. Last season, they were the second seed. The season before that, they were also the second seed, right? They've had good regular seasons. Will it translate in the playoffs, right? Will they finally get over the hump of the Eastern Conference Finals and make it to the NBA Finals? That is still something that we need to know. We have to figure it out while watching the postseason, because regular season they've always had really good seasons, right? Now, had they had a season like this where like they're shooting the three ball this good? No, we've not seen that, right? Another good thing I've seen about the Boston Celtics is they have the best home record in the league. They're 28-3. I remember there was a point of time when they were like 20-0 at home. So the Boston Celtics, if you're playing them at home, it's a very tough environment to play, and you're probably gonna lose. But they've also had a really good away record too. So again, should the Boston Celtics be the favorites in the NBA Finals? For sure. They should definitely be the favorites because they have the best record and they're playing like the best team in the league. Now, my only skepticism is in the playoffs, Jason Tatum, he normally underperforms in the playoffs when it comes to big moments in games. We saw that in the NBA Finals in 2022 against the Golden State Warriors. He was not playing like he was the best player on the Boston Celtics, right? I saw Jaylen Brown playing better than him. And the problem is when another thing is Jaylen Brown, can Jaylen Brown elevate when Jason Tatum is not playing at his best ability? That's another question we have to understand, right? Jaylen Brown also, like last year against the Heat in Game 7, basically could not dribble with his left hand. So my question is for the Boston Celtics and for Boston Celtics fans, do you guys really believe that the Boston Celtics will win the NBA Finals? That's the question. That's what everyone fights for. Not to have the best record in the league. It's helpful to have the number one seed. It's helpful to get the home court advantage. It's helpful to have all these advantages. But at the end of the day, if you do not perform in the playoffs, this all goes to waste. Now, I truly believe that the Boston Celtics will at least make the NBA Finals this season. Now, a lot of basketball still has to be played, but if we look at the schedule, the Boston Celtics do have the second least hardest schedule, so they probably will have the number one seed. Now, they need to stay healthy, and they still need to play at a high level. Now, the West is the hard part, right? Because I think the West, there's a lot of teams that could maybe make the playoffs, and we'll probably make another video about who I think who will make it out of the West. But if we're talking about the East, I think it's basically a lock for the Boston Celtics to make the playoffs, or at least make the finals, and probably have the best chance to win the NBA Finals this season. If the Boston Celtics do not win the NBA Finals this season, this is a waste. Because, I mean, how long can you be in this championship picture? Jason Tatum, I understand, is a very young player. Jaylen Brown is also very young. But you're going to have to pay Jason Tatum that exorbitant amount of money this offseason. You gave Jaylen Brown a $300 million contract for 5 years. He's the highest paid player in the league. If you're giving Jaylen Brown that, Jason Tatum's going to get even more than that, right? So the championship window is closing for the Boston Celtics faster than people are knowing it, and this is the season where they need to capitalize it and finally win the NBA championship. Now, please comment down below what you guys believe. Do you guys believe that the Celtics will win the NBA Finals? Do you think another team would win the NBA Finals? Please comment down below. I'm always down for debate. Without further ado, that's going to wrap it up for the video. Peace.